it's really a pleasure to be here with you. And really, as saying, I think there are so many sparks here. And I just wanted to ask, maybe starting from Eric, since it's a kind of value chain, irrigation, then so value chain and the milk, asking you, okay, to introduce yourself and tell us what was your why. Why did you start this rather than doing, you studied medical sciences, rather than working in a hospital, or rather than working for a bank or for an NGO? You know, it's not the doctor who told you, be an entrepreneur. It's you have decided. Why?
So hi everyone, my name is Eric. I work with a company called Irrihub. Yes, so I grew up in a farming setup. So my dad used to work in a sugarcane plantation, and I'm a medical scientist by profession. I was actually supposed to be in a lab somewhere, fulfilling my dad's dream. But then, having grown up in my entire life in that farming context, I could see the issues farmers are facing day in, day out. You know, they used to plant like long-term, low-value crops, which is sugarcane, and they will only harvest, you know, one time in an entire year, and that means even the amount of money they could get was very limited. So I thought about how could I use my scientific knowledge and wisdom to come and change that context. So see how I can move them from planting long-term, low-value crops to short-term, high-value crops, so that they could have like more money in their pockets. They could, you know, school their kids, and they could have like a decent life. So that's where I decided to start a company that deals with solar irrigation system, just to help farmers be able to increase their productivity and increase their income.
How many farmers do you serve today, more or less?
Right now we service about 2,000 farmers, and I think, thank God, Office came on board. You know, we're going to explore that. Thanks.
Congrats. Same question for Baraka. What is your why? Why you started the Kilimo Fresh rather than venturing on other things or being employed for the government or for a university?
Thank you so much. My name is Baraka. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Kilimo Fresh Foods Africa. First of all, I would like to thank Elena and Elizabeth, as well as Patricia, for having me here and inviting me and my team member, my co-founder Faith, to come to participate in SEOC. This is the first time here, and it has been amazing so far. So, first of all, thank you so much. So, to your question, the why. The why is always important. So, for me and my co-founders, our story started back in 2014, 2013. I did a degree in business administration and entrepreneurship in the rural part of Tanzania. And during this time, I never really thought I would end up being an entrepreneur. However, I did a degree in an entrepreneurship. But again, I had this passion with agriculture, and it's something that we have in common, me and co-founders. Where we were studying, every time we get out of the university, we would see farmers growing different kind of products. And that kind of really got our attention. After finishing university, instead of taking a white-collar job, we went into farming directly, growing tomatoes, capsicums, and watermelon, and selling to middlemen because they're the closest access. And we did farming for over 5 years, and during this time we had major challenges with food waste. 40% of what we produced was wasted. Middlemen were exploiting us. The first middleman will give you an offer of maybe $1,000. Second middleman will tell you $800. The more you wait, the more you lose, and the more your prices of products go down. So this was very frustrating for us, and we decided to stop farming and find a solution for ourselves, but for other farmers in the community. I decided to participate in different boot camps in Africa for like 2 years, travel around Africa to really understand how other startups in different African countries are adding value in this agricultural supply chain. And after 2 years in moving around, That's where I met one of my co-founders, Faith Bella, in Nigeria, and then went back to Tanzania and started Kilimo Fresh in 2019 to solve the problem not just for ourselves, but also for other smallholder farmers in Tanzania. So this is where it all started, with a personal experience, background in agriculture, and having experienced the problem firsthand, and then decided to do something about it with the startup Kilimo Fresh Foods Africa.
Congrats. What about you, Percy?
Well, for me, I had a different way of answering this until I met Harish, and now I realize I'm a protester. So I'm protesting the unending cycle of poverty in the community I come from, where hard work only translates to, it's a guaranteed 30% loss. You see, dairy farmers in sub-Saharan Africa lose up to 40% of their produce to post-harvest losses, that is village and spoilage, in between the farms to the cooperatives. This is majorly because of the distribution systems where they use donkeys and other rudimentary methods to transport their milk to the fast processing points. So I realized I should be, or it's imperative for me to be the first solution provider, and this is our way, or my way, of ending the cycle. So we started in 2017. We are a productive use of energy company where we manufacture solar-powered milk chilling on transit solutions that can be mounted on any means of transport, right from scooters, motorcycles, trucks, and any other mobility units. So our aim is to zero in on the post-harvest in the dairy value chain, and the journey started 6 years ago. To this point, we've transported over 20 million liters of milk with none getting spoiled. We have worked directly and indirectly with over 200,000 farmers. And the magic number is we've been able to increase the farmers' income by a factor of 8%. And I believe with the immense knowledge that I've gathered in this conference, the figure will be different next year. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you again. Congrats. And considering the theme of this SEOC, these 4 days together, unlocking the potential of human and social capital. I think that in the very end, the difference between a crazy person and an entrepreneur is having the first disciples, the first team. Because until you are alone, somehow you are seen as maybe a visionary, a dreamer, or a crazy guy. Once you get a team in place, you start serving the first customers, you start getting results. They start calling you an entrepreneur, but you are the same guy. And I would like to ask you, what was your secret? We are curious to know practical how-to tools or anecdotes on how you built the founding team. Mzee Eric.
Yeah, it was not easy to actually build a founding team, especially if you're coming from a scientific medical setup and you want to jump into agriculture. You literally don't know anything, so you're trying to see who you can bring on board. It was really difficult for me, but fortunately enough, I was able to get a few people who were able to buy into the vision. I think we sat down with them. And I told them, you know what, this is what we want to do. These are the people we want to serve. Do you think you can help us unlock this mission? And yeah, we started with like a few people, like 3 of us, and now we've grown to a team of 11, and it's continuously increasing. And I think the most important thing is getting people who buy into your vision and people who actually understand the kind of customers that you want to serve.
Thank you. And actually say something that I hear so many times because it's true, it's not easy. I love to answer. It's not easy, but was it nice? Was it something touching your heart doing this? I think so.
Yeah, because I love food, and ideally I just wanted to make sure we have that constant supply, and I didn't want to lack at any point. and looking back to see who are the main people to produce that food are the farmers, then I love to do it. So I wanted to just literally work with the farmers.
Great. Baraka, what are your secret tips to the audience on how to build a thriving team?
So I think being an entrepreneur, first of all, when we started, we thought the most difficult thing was to have a business idea and to start a company. But then I came to realize hiring and managing people is another talent that you need to have as an entrepreneur. Because when you meet someone, they need to buy into your vision. And they need to believe that they are coming to join your ship or your boat, and you are rowing towards the same direction, and it must be a win-win situation for everyone, not just the company, but also for everyone who joins the company. The lucky, or maybe I can say the advantage we had is when we started, we leveraged the network of the middlemen. These were, I can say, they were our first people in our team. They were not full-time, but every time we needed to engage with the smallholder farmers, we have them, instead of competing with them, working against them, we had to bring them on board to help us really engage with the smallholder farmers in a sustainable way, not the way they were doing. Some of these we retained as full-time employees and changed their mindset, and some of them we had to let go. But again, faith has played a very critical part in helping building the team. I'm not very good at recruiting, and she's been doing most of the job. However, one of the challenges as a startup is most of the times you have limited resources. You want the best people in your team, and you have less to pay them. And this is where you need to really make sure that the vision is clearly communicated and they see the impact they will have in the future. So this has been the most difficult part, but honestly, without faith, I don't know what I could have done. So we tried, and even now we have over 42 full-time staff, 17 part-time, working directly with the smallholder farmers. And I must say, I'm still learning every day how to always hire the best talents. So sometimes I feel like, okay, you have more experience, try to get us the regional sales manager of Coca-Cola to join our company. I don't know how you're going to tell them, but let them come and join us. So yeah, that's been the tricky behind that. So selling the vision has been the most important one. And then once they understand the vision, some of them are even willing to take the lower pay because they feel like, okay, I want to work for a founder because I know I'll learn a lot than working for a boss who doesn't really understand the vision of the company. So that's my experience.
Congrats. Congrats, especially because I hear so many times startups, companies in your space, in the agro-food chain saying, we are fighting the middlemen, we are cutting them off. And sometimes I think, okay, but the middlemen are not human beings. I mean, okay, sometimes there is naive situation thinking, the farmers are good people, the middlemen are greedy. Maybe I like what you said, that maybe it's just a mindset shift.
Yeah, it's a shift of mindset, but also two of the middlemen that we've been working since we started, two of them, they are children now and the university. One of them graduated because of working with Kilimo Fresh. Yeah.
Percy, what about you? How did you sell your vision to make the first team, the first ones who trusted you, say, okay, this guy is not just talking, he will build something wonderful?
Yeah, I think I'll start that by saying at Savanna Circuit we don't have a team. I'll tell you what we have after sharing my experience. And when we were starting, I chose a team of very qualified people based on what I thought was the driving force behind the company. So 1 year down the line, we're really doing relatively good, and in one of our earlier dinner parties, I asked a question and I realized I was the only person in a group of 15 that knew what the company stood for. Everybody else knew about their paycheck and their roles within the company. So I realized I needed to flip the switch. This is a social enterprise and there is a mission and a vision towards it. So since then we started creating a community. At Savanna Circuit we have a community of people driven by passion. So these days I get midnight calls of very junior staff within us or junior colleagues giving solutions without necessarily expecting an overtime pay. It means they've taken over the vision. And without me, without the original dreamer, the vision can still continue. As a social enterprise, we need to build a community. We need to be driven by a force of people who believe in the dream rather than what they gain from the dream. For us to create an impact, we need to look at what we do differently. Everything else comes after. And I think that is our best secret, and I would love to share that with other entrepreneurs, that let's create a vision, let's create a family rather than a team.
Thank you. The last one, but it's a very quick one, then we are done. You know, in few hours, each and every one of us will be traveling home, or the SEOC is going to end. I wanted to ask you, what will you bring home out of these 4 days together?
Yeah, yesterday at Ella's workshop, we played the game of zeros and X, and I realized everybody's strategy was towards suppressing what the other person does before you make your move. You know, as social enterprises, we stand to achieve more when you do through synergies. We tend to reach more through synergies rather than trying to create our own individual impact for the purposes of gaining more than the others. So for me, I think back home, I'll go create more partnerships and see what I can be able, how I can be able to work with the others. And I have a challenge for the CEO team and the organizers, and I think my challenge is this: how can we be able to evaluate our collective effort as CEO participants so that we can evaluate over time? My proposal is, how about we do a continuation of the workshops that we had? How about we actively get involved of the case study businesses that we had for the year that is coming? By actively, it means maybe the company creates a WhatsApp group where we face their challenges with them for the next 1 year. We do our contributions for the next 1 year, so that next SEOC, before the event starts, we will do a statistical analysis of how CEO community was able to impact, you see, a community in Zambia, how CEO community was able to impact a community in Spain, so that at least we know there's something happening after the workshop. Our words are only as good as the action we take against them. Otherwise, it's going to be a continuous and unending cycle of very good oratory skills and narratives. Thank you.
I fully buy this idea. What about you, Baraka? You know, part of my mission is also try to challenge my tribe, Italians, to not to be limited to this idea of helping Africa, but trying to see all the win-win strategies or opportunities that are there. What will you bring home, or what do you challenge SEO participants? What do you do?
Like I said, this is my first SEOC, and so far it has been amazing. I don't know, I can find the right words to describe it, but what I can say is there's so much that I'm taking home. I've learned a lot from other entrepreneurs, from the trainers, mentors. This has been the highlight of my 2023, and with me, I think, especially with Kilimo Fresh, we engage with a lot of other like women, MSMEs, we have smallholder farmers. For us, unlocking the human and social capital is at the same time the core of our mission and our everyday activity. So for me, I think being here has really impacted a lot. I've learned a lot from other peers, and I think going back home, there's a lot of work we're going to do. I was talking to Faith, telling her that we participated in different workshops, and it has been really, really amazing. My team was great. I learned a lot by engaging with them, and I think going back home, we'll sit down and dissect our business, bring it into pieces, and then see how we can improve going forward. And all this is because of the past 4 days that I've been here. So I'm going back home with a really different perspective. The networks I've made, everything is amazing, trust me. I've also found some collaboration. I've found some solution to my packaging issues, how to extend shelf life of the produce. I met one entrepreneur who has a product that I can really use back in Tanzania. And I think all this is because of Silk. And I think next year, if we meet again, I have something to share what we really did in the past 1 year as a result of being here, attending Silk this year. Thank you.
Wonderful. In 2 seconds, what do you bring home?
Yeah, I think for me, love wins at the end of the day, and there is power in the community. I think the few days I've spent here, it's been incredible. I've met amazing people with incredible brains. People like Erica doing amazing things within the AI world. It's been amazing for me, and I think what I'm just taking back home is love wins, and there is power within the community, and just sharing ideas. And yeah.
Thank you so much. On myself, what I bring home is really the idea that the shortest poem by Muhammad Ali, Me, We. Okay, I think I will bring home the shortest business plan simply by interacting with all of you guys, which is you are you. So the DNA of your project, your company, of what you can do in life, the contribution you can give to the world is really part of yourself. And the point is simply do not be shy of this. Don't listen to those who say that you are crazy, that you cannot change what you want to change, but simply find this inner force. Thank you guys for your contribution.